Hello. Shalom, y'all. We are going to transition from the engagement fair, which is apparently yet another huge success. Thank you all for everything. It looks great. I love seeing all the conversation and all the happiness going on in the room. We are now going to transition and officially open our annual business meeting. So if we could get everyone to move in, take a seat, and if the fair is still available after we finish, then y'all can go back and visit some more. All right. Just one more quick announcement. After we finish with our meeting, if you are in the room and if you have placed a deli order, you do not have to wait until 12:30. You can go ahead and go downstairs and pick up your order and then bring it back up here and eat together or take it home, whatever you would like. So I just wanted you guys to know how that would work and what your options are. And I think we're waiting on Rabbi, and then we'll get started. Thanks.
Good morning. Want to welcome you to the 23-24 annual congregational meeting. Yay, here we are. Looking around, this is a good day to be a member of Temple Bethel. I love watching around, watching everybody being engaged. So thank you to everyone who has participated in our engagement fair. Without further ado, I do want to introduce the executives who have been serving our board for this past year. So we have Alan Halpern as first vice president, Joshua Richmond as second vice president, Steve Altman as treasurer, and as secretary, and as immediate past president, Ron Levitt, who has also very generously served the last 2 years and will continue serving as our treasurer. So a special hand for Ron, because that's a lot of work. And Glynis Levitt, our COO, is also with us, and Ron Froelich, who will be our new head of our foundation, our Temple Bethel Foundation, and I believe Jacob Halpern, who has served in that position, is not well, but hopefully we'll see him soon. So with that, and with no further ado, I would like to call the meeting to order.
Good morning, everyone. Usually we try to open these meetings with a Devar Torah, so that's my role here today. A couple of years ago at my first High Holidays here in Birmingham, I gave a Devar Torah in which I argued that although we often think of things in a binary nature, either good or bad, Rarely does anything neatly fall into those categories. More often, life is lived in the gray, with things that are partially good or partially bad, or, in the words of the foundation of Jewish mysticism, the Zohar, what is an act of judgment for one person is an act of kindness for another. Some things are bad for us, but good for someone else. As I reflect on our past year at Temple Beth El, I want to come back to that basic concept. This was an undeniably difficult year for all of us. Each of us had our own struggles with health, with family, friends, work, stress, and everything else that comes with, well, life. As a community, we've lost a lot of people in the last year. Just since January 1st, I've officiated approximately 15 funerals, including a couple people who, at some points in their lives, were highly influential in the Beth El community. And I would be neglectful if I didn't also mention October 7th and the war in Israel that has been hanging over us for the last 8.5 months or so. As a Jewish people, we witnessed the single deadliest day for Jews in approximately 80 years. Saw our brothers and sisters taken into captivity, with about half of them still being held hostage, and watched from here as our Jewish homeland has been engaged in a war that increasingly threatens to become a multi-front war, and soon will become the longest war Israel's ever fought. For most of those 8.5 months, we've also seen an exponential rise in anti-Semitism that has had some pondering if this is what our ancestors felt in 1930s Germany, which has been highlighted, but by no means limited, to the protests breaking out on college campuses over the last few months, and violence against Jewish individuals and institutions. Therefore, to say this has been a difficult year would be an understatement. We've cried, we've hurt, we've wondered for our safety, we've wondered what the future holds for ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren, with an anxiety few of us have ever experienced before. And we've wondered what our brothers and sisters are going through in Israel. But just as I would be neglectful if I didn't mention the war, I would be equally neglectful if I didn't mention that in the shadow of the war and the rise in anti-Semitism, we have experienced some good in the last year. We've had some personal struggles, but we've also loved, laughed, and smiled. Our civil rights experience launched just a few weeks after October 7th and has impacted hundreds of people in just a few short months, including being written up in the New York Times, which has only allowed us to impact even more people. We've lost valuable members of our community, but their memories haven't left our hearts. I've seen family members blown away by how many people showed up to honor their loved one's memory, and I've seen people who never met the deceased come to a funeral to ensure there's a minyan for the family to say the memorial prayers. I have seen our Birmingham Jewish community come together in admirable ways to support each other, to raise money to send to Israel, to send people to our Jewish homeland to witness the atrocities of October 7th, the resilience of our Israeli family, and to let them know we stand with them. We reached out to college students to let them know they are not alone and that we are here to support them. We have talked, we've shared, and we have supported each other through our grief and our pain. And that's who we are and what we do as a community. Rabbi Sharon Brous, one of the most influential rabbis in the U.S., teaches that you don't measure the strength of a community by the way they celebrate together. Celebrating's easy. It's fun to go to the parties. You measure the strength of a community by the way they mourn and the way they grieve together. Personally, I'm proud of the way our community has come together to both grieve and to celebrate, to support and rejoice, to mourn and to love in this past year. Are we perfect? No. There's always more we can do as a community, and that's going to be the mission for our incoming Temple and Foundation boards of directors. You are inheriting leadership of a beautiful community. Your job is neither to maintain the status quo nor to rubber stamp whatever is proposed, even if it's proposed by me. Your job is to do a better job grieving, help us do a better job grieving together, help us do a better job celebrating together, supporting each other, rejoicing together, mourning together, and loving each other. Your job is to make sure that those we're not reaching, those who are on the fringes of our community, are being reached, and that those that we are reaching, those who are in our building regularly, are reached better and more effectively. Your job is to help us continue to grow and to improve as a community. Your job is to help us balance the difficult times with the good times. Yes, this has been a difficult year for all of us, but we shouldn't lose hope or get despondent. There's good in what happened this year and reasons for us to have hope for the future. Let us work together as boards of directors, as staff, and as congregational members to make sure that in the face of challenges we will inevitably face in the year ahead, we mourn, grieve, and cry together at the same time that we inspire hope, love, and care for each other.
Good morning. And I have to admit, the only thing that I find I don't like about Rabbi Hankin is having him speak before me, because he always says everything that needs to be said. So thank you, Rabbi. Each time I've had the honor of standing before this congregation, I end up wondering what it is I might say that would have meaning, or that would inspire thought or action. But looking around this morning, and having been here for so many wonderful times over the past 2 years, I realize there's little that all of you can learn from me. The last 2 years have seen our inaugural volunteer fair, which is now an engagement fair, the installation of our rabbi, the official kickoff of the civil rights experience, and countless hours of learning, praying, grieving, and celebrating together. Temple Beth-El has been our touchstone to help our community understand and process what has been and continues to happen in Israel, and has been our home when we need a home. Also, over the last years, I have attended and participated in the meetings. The meetings. Oh, so many meetings. Meetings planning and addressing everything from our finances, discussions about our Judaism and how to express it, to the wonderful, delicious fundraiser that we're all waiting for this meeting to end so we can start eating. Meetings about kippot and bricks and air conditioners, the list is endless. But what is also endless is the commitment, creativity, generosity, and leadership of this community. So, after all, despite the fact that I keep talking, the only thing I really have to say to all of you is thank you. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to serve as your board president and hopefully in some way give back to Temple Beth-El, a place that is so important to me and to my family. In addition to saying thank you as I keep talking, I have to ask you all to keep it up. Every member of this community has something valuable to contribute, and we need each and every one of you. If there's something you see that needs changing, something you need or want that Temple is not offering, something you believe you can contribute, as the TSA says, if you see something, say something. Do something. We need each individual and each family to make us our best. Temple Beth-El is on an upward trajectory because of everyone who has and continues to contribute. Our rabbi, our COO, all of our wonderful lay leaders, and our staff and volunteers, and all of our members with so many varied talents, viewpoints, and opinions. That's what makes us strong. And as the world continues to change, my prayer and my hope is that we will continue to work to support Temple Beth-El, our home, moving forward together. I'd like to introduce someone everyone knows, our COO, Glynis Levitt. Stay. With flowers.
Welcome, everybody. So, I want to say congratulations and express my gratitude to the Temple Beth-El professional staff for another amazing year. I know you guys hear this, but I very seldom have an opportunity to publicly call their names, and I hope that you'll let me do that and that you will join me in sharing your appreciation. Rabbi, we want to thank you for the leadership and care that you provide for our spirits every week. Howard, you have a big job providing fantastic service to our members, to our committees, as well as all the work involved with keeping this beautiful building in repair, and I am very grateful for your partnership. I don't know where Andrea is, probably not in the room. Ah, there she is. You know, we call Andrea our bookkeeper, but let me just tell you, that is like 1/10 of what she does. She is hands-on everywhere all the time, and I cannot tell you how much I count on you and how grateful I am for your extra, she calls it, let me give you an extra set of hands or an extra set of eyes. Well, it's way more than that. Aaron, I want to thank you for the way that you've grown in your role, for the professionalism and the warmth that you express when people come into our building. I've gotten comments about how wonderful you are on the phone, so thank you. Margaret, though gone now, made incredible contributions this past year, and I do want to acknowledge that, and we will miss her. Stephanie Butler, would you stand just for a moment? I'd like to welcome Stephanie. Stephanie is our new Director of Programming and Engagement. She's already literally dived in head first. She's had her head in freezers and her elbows in pastrami and put together this amazing slideshow in about 2 hours, and it would have taken me 2 weeks. So we're going to see a lot more from her. Her skill set is exceptional, so I hope you will meet her and get to know her a little bit better. Orly and Maureen, I want to thank you both for all that you've done with the religious school, with Kesher, with rounding up Miss Robin Berger and Matt Dreffen. Robin, thank you so much for your contribution to our little ones. Seriously, bravo. Ina Buchanan, Leslie Feldman, Karen Halpern, wave your hands. You guys are here every week, and I am so grateful for what you bring and for the help that you give to our staff. To our TBE kitchens, there are no words for the year they have had. Almost $100,000 in sales out of our TBE kitchens this year through our catering, Shabbat lunches, and Shivas. Bravo to this team. You know, this team has been led by Bernard Axel for the past 5 years, who has donated his time and I don't mean a little time. I mean 30, 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Some weeks he has clocked in here. He will not take a dime. He will barely take a thank you. And I just don't know if you understand the gift that we have had. There's love in every bite. Thank you, Bernard. The team that works with Bernard, Mandy, Warren, Robin, Teresa, have become vital to the success that we've had here. The role Mandy has been playing as administrator has really helped us keep books, and we know where we stand, and we know where every penny goes and everything is accountable. And I want to let you all know that with Bernard's encouragement and with his help and with his full support, we have just hired a full-time head chef and kitchen manager, Teresa Cottrell, who's been with us for a year and a half, going on 2 years. And we are very grateful. She's going to tutelage under Bernard and learn from him, as well as bring her own special touch to things. So we're excited about the future for that. So I think I've got everyone, but if you think that I've forgotten Nico, I have not. Nico, would you come up here, please? And bring your lovely mother with you. Bring your lovely mother with you. So, for those of you who don't we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of Nico Cusey, working here as our chief custodian. This man has outlasted rabbis, cantors, executive directors, COOs, and just about any other staff member. He's survived economic downturns, COVID, job description changes, and literally knows everything about this building and everything in it. To say that we would be lost without him is a huge understatement. Lost a book, lost a Megillah, he can find it. Don't know what that light switch operates, he can tell you. Need help with microphones, sound, he can do it. Flip a room from a small private party to 400 in 4 hours, this is your guy. And he does it by himself. So he is a glue. He is a constant, and he binds our staff together because we all need him. The skills he has, the humor, he is humble, he is unassuming. I can't even imagine how uncomfortable he is right now. Yeah. But when you walk in the morning and he's straightening the tallis and he says, "Good morning, Glennis, you okay?" I'm going, "Yes." But he's not just asking. He pauses. He waits for me to respond because he really wants to know, are you okay? Can I do anything? And I'll ask him to do something and he'll say, "Not a problem." But if Nico comes to me and says, "We have a problem," we have a problem. You know how much we love you. And I have Miss Natalie here because she was here with Nico 16 years ago. And he had been here, what, about 4 years then?
Yeah.
So I wanted her to be here for a part of this. So Nico, we have some gifts for you to celebrate your 20 years. And I want you to know that the first thing that we're going to do these, right? We're putting a leaf on the tree in Nico's honor. And it reads, "In honor of Nico Cusey, celebrating 20 years of dedicated service to Temple Bethel. Ask Nico, he'll know, and he always does. 2004 to 2024 from a grateful team and congregation." So in addition to that, the Men's Club, Sisterhood, Gen XYZ, the Temple, and many, many people in this room, Nico, have all come together to give you a bonus for your 20 years worth of service in the amount of $3,500. We have taken your comments that you made, and Stephanie beautifully framed these comments for Nico to be able to keep. And I'm just going to read one. We love how whenever we see Nico, he has a big smile and warm welcome. Nico always goes out of his way to be helpful to everyone. Thanks, Nico. You can read the rest of these.
Thank you so much.
We'd like to thank you for raising such an amazing son and sharing him with us. Okay. I'd like to thank the Board of Directors who have honored me with their trust and support while I try to do this job. My gratitude to the foundation and to Kathy Fingerman, who's been a fantastic partner. Few highlights, if you did not know yet, we have new cameras, new access systems, new security enhancements. We've installed new HVAC units. Upgrades continue around the temple. And if you have not yet added the SchulCloud text alerts, please do that so that we can reach you in case of an emergency. I'd like to thank those who have helped with the fundraiser. And that is the end of the COO report. Thank you all.
Okay, next, the part everyone looks forward to. Our treasurer, Ron Levitt, will give us our financial report.
That was probably Glennis's favorite thing to do today, so made her very happy. And thanks for attending today's congregational meeting for our beloved Temple Bethel. A couple of years ago, I completed my 2-year term as president of our board of directors. But instead of moving on to the coveted role of being immediate past president, I also agreed to stay on as treasurer to assist Naomi's new role as president and Glennis's role as COO, and to continue to build upon the progress that we have made through the years of transition that we have recently gone through. I'm here to tell you that Temple Bethel is, in a current sense, in as good a financial condition as we have been in many years. Our financial health has been improving in the past 5 years dramatically. More importantly, we are not only doing well financially, but also spiritually, programmatically, and in the way we build community in everything that we do. Those goals are the basis upon which we make our decisions. While others speaking today have spent time giving you a description of what we are currently doing for our congregation and community, today I want to give you an understanding of how we are doing financially, especially in the context of all the challenges and changes we have faced as a congregation over the past several years. It seems to me that the best way to illustrate the financial health of Temple Bethel is to look at the recent history of our line of credit at Service First Bank. We have had that line of credit since 2007. The line of credit is a way to measure how our schul's operations impact us financially over the years. We have used that line to cover our cumulative losses from our operations over time. It has not always been a pretty picture. But I'm happy to say that over time we've improved the way we do business and have found ways to reduce our line of credit. The story of where we are financially requires one to understand the many types of changes that we experienced over the past few years and how those changes impacted our finances. We experienced change that grew out of the COVID pandemic. It dramatically impacted what we could do. Some was good and some not so much. Fortunately, COVID is mostly in the past. We've experienced change in how we operate from a business perspective by experimenting with a rabbi CEO model but changing to the business model that we've been using for the past 3 years, under which our board of directors is the decision maker, and with day-to-day operations being managed by our COO and her staff. The board and our staff use a budget process that is used to plan for what we do each year and to implement those plans. Each budget we adopt tells a story of what our plans are for the year, recognizing that the story sometimes has to change. Those changes often lead to new decisions that are made by our board and implemented by our staff during the year. Our budget and decision-making process relies on an active board and committee system, which we have been developing over the past 5 years. Using that interactive process has allowed us to move nimbly to take advantage of opportunities and to avoid problems. That approach has helped us financially in many ways. We experienced change in how we operate our business office by changing our accounting function to Kesef, which is a national accounting firm that specializes in working for synagogues and other Jewish organizations. We have also started using ShulCloud to interface with our congregants in a way that is compatible with Kesef. Along with Kesef, our talented bookkeeper, and that is a misnomer, Andrea May and our COO Glennis have worked to operate our business office function in a very professional manner, which allows us to properly plan and manage what we do professionally and efficiently. I work closely with both of them to manage cash flow and to help keep our line of credit as low as possible, saving lots of interest. Of course, a final and most important change is having Rabbi Henkin as our rabbi. That major change has been a huge positive for us and our community. Supporting Rabbi Henkin financially and otherwise is a key to our future and is something I'll address at the end of my comments. Another fact you need to understand is that for the past several years, our ability to pay our rabbi's salary and compensation has been subsidized by a small group of our congregants and through efforts from our foundation to support our operations. Over 1/3 of our revenues comes from our foundation. It's the key. We've got a three-legged stool between dues, fee-for-service, and the foundation. And then the fourth leg of the stool has been this group of people that have come together over the years to subsidize the rabbi's salary. We would not have been able to get where we are today without all that generous support. That level of subsidization, that's easy for me to say, will have to be addressed sooner than later to make our shul's future sustainable. I'll mention this again. As I'll mention again, that means that we as a congregation have to have serious discussions about who we are and what we are willing to do to ensure our future sustainability. While going through all those changes, over the past 5 years or so, we have developed many new and popular programs such as the Civil Rights Experience that the rabbi mentioned, Gen XYZ, which has been flourishing, Shul House Rock, the spectacular growth of our kitchen and food service, our jointly run religious school, the new community-based Kesher program and joint confirmation program, and many other events and celebrations, including life cycle events. To implement those changes, we have upgraded our staff and are now paying our staff competitive levels of compensation. With that history lesson, I will now circle back and fill you in on where we are financially, which is really my task for today. A few minutes ago, I told you that the recent history of our line of credit will give you a feel for our improving financial health as a congregation. 5 years ago, in June of 2019, our line of credit was $875,000. By June of 2020, the line of credit debt was reduced by a small surplus down to $845,000. With PPP money and an additional surplus, we reduced the line of credit to $675,000 as of June of 2021. A surplus in our 2022 fiscal year and funding we received under the ERC further reduced our line of credit to $575,000 by June of 2022. And by last June, June of 2023, our surplus for the 23 fiscal year reduced the line of credit to $400,000. During the current fiscal year, by following best financial practices and with a great assist in cash flow from our foundation, which advanced funding to us earlier in the year than they had in the past, to give us money that we were going to get during the year anyway, and with continued support from the foundation and the subsidy from the small group of congregants mentioned above, our line of credit was actually paid down to $0 in January of this year. I very much enjoyed reporting that to the board when we had a board meeting that week. But we knew that we were going to need to borrow money to get through the rest of the year from a cash flow point of view. So while we did have to borrow against the line of credit since January, because of another successful year both financially and programmatically, our line of credit at the end of this June, next week, is expected to be only $265,000, of which $85,000 was used to pay for the security improvements that Glennis mentioned that we're getting reimbursed for from the Homeland Security Grant Program, meaning that our line of credit from operations has been reduced through the end of the current fiscal year to $180,000. That's where we expect it to be. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Our line of credit debt at the end of June 2019 was $875,000. At the end of this June, it will effectively be reduced by almost $700,000 to $180,000. Not to bury the lead too much, the most recent good news for us financially is that for the fiscal year that will end this month, we expect to enjoy another surplus of around $150,000. That is 5 surpluses in a row that we've been able to create. I wish I could tell you that we have the ability to do that every year, but that's not the case. As I'll mention in connection with our budget for next year, there will be several changes that will make it unlikely that we will produce a surplus next year. As for the surplus for the current year, there are several reasons why we have been successful financially. One is that we've raised significant dollars from fundraising, which included a large unexpected donation, which is on top of all the money that the foundation provides to us every year. Our kitchen operations have performed magnificently with the leadership provided by Bernard, as Glennis mentioned, who has donated his time in developing the kitchen and its operations for many years. And if you talk to the rabbi and others here, we're Jewish. We're going to eat. And I say that in joke, but it is an essential part of our programming that allows us to build community by sitting around these tables many times during the year. So it's very important to what we do. So in addition to the kitchen, we've continued to enjoy increased usage of our facilities for life cycle and community events, include being a preferred provider for that kind of event for the Birmingham Jewish Federation, who likes to do programs here. There are many other reasons why we've had a successful years that others have covered today. If you want to know more, talk to Glennis or talk to me, and we're happy to fill you in. Just as change has been a story for the past number of years, our plans for next year can be found in the budget that was just adopted by our board this past week. That budget, like others, tells a story of what we want Temple Beth-El to be next year, which will be the first year of Alan Halpin's term as president. Our next year's plan is to continue to maintain the same level of quality programming that our congregation has been enjoying, and to do so, we will maintain the quality of our talented staff. To do so, we have brought into our staff Stephanie Butler, who was introduced, and to help lead the kitchen, we have hired, with Bernard's blessing, Teresa Cottrell, who has worked with us for the last couple of years. Glennis addressed these already. As for new things, we've included in our budget for the 24-25 year funds to hire a chazan for the High Holy Days, and our plan is to implement changes to increase the amount of music that we have in our services. We do not have a firm plan. We have a good idea, and it's a semi-firm plan to bring music in, but we have to figure out a way to do it in a way that makes sense financially. In putting our budget together for next year, we had to understand that some sources of revenue would no longer be there for us, and our staffing costs, especially in the kitchen, will increase, mostly taking into account the valuable but cost-free service Bernard has provided to us over the last number of years. Because of these financial changes, our next year budget will include a dues increase that is mostly taking inflationary pressures into account. With that said, we know that next year's budget will be a challenge, but we will do our best to rise to the occasion to meet the needs of our congregation. More about the budgets beyond the scope of what I wanted to talk about today, but I'm happy to discuss it with any of you. Thanks for patiently listening to this story of our improving finances. While I will not cover what our plans are for large-scale fundraising may look like, I will end this presentation by making you all aware that while we are in a good financial position currently, early next year, leadership from the board, the foundation, and our congregation at large will have to begin a discussion on how we put ourselves in a position to continue our successes in the future that will surely require a unified effort to raise significant dollars to help fund how we pay for our clergy and our other programming that we all want to continue. This is really a follow-up on the generous subsidy that a few members of our congregation have provided for the past few years. In that discussion, we will have to decide who we are and how we will pay for the level of service, programming, and community that we clearly desire, and how we will make all that available to our future congregants. I and others are looking forward to seeing what an exciting discussion will look like as we look into the future and try to see where we will be heading and what we all need to do to ensure a bright future for Temple Bethel. We have to think and plan, and it reminds me of the story from Alice in Wonderland where the Cheshire Cat is sitting on the tree and Alice walks up crying, saying, "I'm lost, which way should I go? Which way should I go?" And the Cheshire Cat smiles down on Alice and says, "Well, where are you trying to end up?" And she says, "I don't know." And the Cheshire Cat says, "Well, then it doesn't matter which way you go, does it?" I keep that story in my mind. We have to figure out where we're trying to go, and when we do that, we will know what that path will be. I'm hopeful that we can build on our recent successes and make Temple Bethel the type of shul we want to be. Thanks, everybody, for what you have done and what you will do in the future.
Thank you, Ronald, not only for your words today, but again for the tireless work you have put in over the last several years and are planning on doing for at least a little while longer. So thank you. One of the very important parts of our congregation is our Temple Bethel Sisterhood. So to give you an update on what they're doing, I invite Lisa Kianoff.
Good morning, everybody. So I have on my sisterhood hat today. It's funny following the treasurer's report, and I don't have to talk about numbers. Those of you who don't know, I'm an accountant by trade. So we've had a fabulous year with sisterhood. I will tell you that Arlene and Sue left very big shoes to fill, and I continue to be learning about sisterhood and all the multitude of things that we do and how much the people that are members of sisterhood and even those that support the members of sisterhood just rise to the occasion. We have done so many things this year, and I wanted to just talk about a few of them, do a little sales pitch on a few. We started off last year with doing the Honey from the Heart. Those of you that have done it, it's basically a lovely way to wish your family or your friends a Happy New Year. They get a beautiful box with this delicious honey, and it's a fundraiser. We've got forms over there. You'll get emails and both from Temple and from Sisterhood to do that, and it's one of our fundraisers. The Hiddur Mitzvah, this year Toby Siegel was kind enough to pick up the job of running it, and Jana Morris, where's Jana, is doing it next year. And this is a bittersweet change for us because Janet Reagan, a dear friend and past president of Sisterhood, as we know, passed away this year. And that was Janet's last frontier, was she just loved to do that. And it was with her beautiful commitment to that that we had shiny silver for the high holidays in the synagogue. We did sangria in the sukkah. Orly did our programming this year, and that was a fun time. We were out in the parking lot. Drinks, food, delicious things. Then we had hors d'oeuvres with Orly, and we learned more about Orly and her background, and we got to eat Moroccan food because that's her family background. We've had the New Year's greetings, our Book of Remembrance. Shirley Froelich handles all of that and just an amazing job. Did the bake sale. Jan Hirsch took that on. The Hanukkah lunch, I would say probably 75% of the women in this room helped out at some level with the Hanukkah lunch, and we are going to be doing it again. And that's going to be December 15th, so put it on your calendar. We had a charcuterie night. The Torah on Tap was a lot of fun. We had a great bartender who made some magical drinks for all of us there that weren't on the menu. We've hosted the Kiddush lunch for Shmini Atzeret. We hosted the National Women's League members. They came here on a civil rights tour, and in fact, they were so impressed that they've asked Sisterhood to host the regional meeting this upcoming year, and they want to tie in the civil rights experience with that. So Civil Rights does it again. The Torah Fund event, our Torah Fund raises money for the seminary, and Arlene Shira Goldberg and Naomi Feinberg headed that up. We had a fabulous lunch. Where did Bernard go? We had a fabulous lunch that was thrown for sisterhood by the kitchen staff. And it was so sweet and so kind because, as some of you know, all the equipment in the kitchen is owned by Sisterhood and purchased by Sisterhood and kept up by Sisterhood. We agree, food is the underlying foundation to Judaism. It fills our hearts and it fills our stomachs at the same time, and Sisterhood is always thrilled that we can help by supplying for the kitchens, that we can have events like this and have the equipment. We also contributed to the rabbi's installation. We helped buy the new sukkah, the AV equipment in here, kitchen equipment. We helped pay for kitchen staff, youth programming, education, and we partnered on, like you heard, on Nico's anniversary. We're building our team. If anybody would like to help, we've got sign-up information over there. We've also got our membership dues, which start July 1st. We hope you'll all join again. And we also have Havdalah candles that we would love for you to take to bring some light into your house. On a Saturday, it's a lovely, lovely ceremony to do. Natalie, our daughter, has started doing it more, and I really had forgotten how much I like doing Havdalah. It's really a lovely ceremony. So, Sisterhood is here for you, and a very exciting announcement that I saved for last. Barbara, where are you? In corner. Barbara Brandy has agreed to co-president with me for this coming year. Yay! I am so excited to be her partner in this because she brings so much to this, and she is Women's League aficionado, and I'm just looking forward to a wonderful year, and thank you all.
So, as you all know, we have many other wonderful organizations that are doing a lot, but they have elected not to get up. So, Steve. Men's Club has been doing a lot for, I'm putting you on the spot, yes I am, for this, and most importantly today, the Men's Club has purchased the meat slicer that is slicing all the wonderful deli food that we keep talking about that I know you're all waiting for. So thank you, Men's Club. Generation XYZ has done a lot of wonderful things for the congregation and a lot of our other organizations. So thank you all, and thank you, Lisa, for sharing about sisterhood. I would like our current Bethel Board of Directors to please stand and be recognized, all of you who are here. And while they are doing that, each of the people you see here today and a couple of others that have not made it here are remaining on the board for the next year. One of our members, Fred Benjamin, will be rolling off after giving us service for 6 years. So I don't think he's here, but thank you to Fred. And thank you to all of these wonderful people. I would also like to call Ron up to introduce our newly nominated board members for the next year.
Okay, thanks, Naomi. And I want to thank, first of all, we had a great nominating committee that included Bernard Stern, Marjorie Perlman, Alan Halpern, Jacob Halpern, Michael Schneiderman, and Joyce Jevin, and myself. And we met and decided that we wanted to add some people to the board, and we also have, on the table, you'll see the list of who our new executive committee is. Most of us are repeating. Steve and I just can't give it up, so we're staying on. Also, Sue Lishkoff has agreed to become one of our vice presidents, which is a really big win for our congregation. And then, of course, Alan Halpern will be president, and Josh Richmond will be the first vice president. And Naomi goes to the coveted role of immediate past president. Our new board members, and one of the things that you might notice over the last couple of years, as I've been chair of the nominating committee, is we're trying to get people involved that are maybe a little younger than I am. I look up here, and I think I'm about the oldest one up here. So we're going to change that. Well, Ron came up. Okay, welcome. It's all right. Which finger was that, Ron? Anyway, we've got some really exciting younger folks that that are listed: Brandon Cohen, Bridget Sikora, Stacy Ladden, and then we've got some of, they're not as young, but equally important, Marcia Asman and Doug Gilbert, who are going to come on as new board members. And so with all those folks and the people that are carrying on, I think we've got a very experienced board with people who are real engaged. And I know that Alan's going to motivate us all to do great. So on behalf of the nominating committee, we recommend this slate of new directors to the membership. Naomi?
So this is a recommendation from the nominating committee. We do not need a second, but I would like to call from the votes, a call for a vote. So all in favor of this slate of nominees for the 24-25 Board of Directors, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any dissent? Okay, any abstentions? Right.
And then just the board needs to vote on our list of officers for the next year. So on behalf of the nominating committee, we propose this slate of the executive committee as listed on this page.
So if all the board members would please stand once again, new and old. Okay. And all you, where'd you go? I'm not gonna be send this. Okay. If you all, for the board members, I would like to, the nominating committee has proposed this slate of officers: Alan Halpern as president, Joshua Richmond as first vice president, Sue Lishkoff as second vice president, Steve Altman as secretary, Ronald Levitt as treasurer, and myself as immediate vice president. All who agree, please say aye. Aye. Any dissensions? Any abstentions? Okay. So to introduce, oh, here it comes, to introduce and talk about the foundation board, we introduce Ron Froelich.
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to pay tribute to Kathy Feldman, who worked so hard. Kathy Fingerman, my apologies. Why I've got Feldman on the brain, who knows? Must be all the speeches. But I want to thank her for all the work she does. There's another person that volunteers more than just her time. I also want to apologize. I also wish to apologize for Jacob's non-attendance, but that is due to him having COVID, and we wish him a speedy recovery. Temple Bethel Foundation has put forth the following slate. New board members: Dan Weinrobe, Lisa Engel, David Kimmeling, and Eddie Griffith. Rolling off: Sarah Kuhn, Keith Abrams, Rebecca Rothman, and Stephen Sikora. Remaining on the board: yours truly, Arlene Goldstein, Barbara Brandy, Naomi Kipp, Jan Jaffe, Jacob Halpern, Ben Rosenbaum, Lisa Kiernoff, Stuart Royal, Sam Friedman, Michelle Berman-Wolnick. I now call for the Temple Foundation board members to stand and for the approval of the nominees. Thank you. All those in favor? Any against? Any abstentions? It's carried. Thank you. We look forward to working with you.
And now to install the new boards, we'd like to call our rabbi, Rabbi Hinken.
So before I start, if one take a quick moment, and if I can ask, I know Fred Benjamin's not here, but we've got Susan Lapidus, Sarah Kunin, Keith Abrams, Rebecca Rothman, and Stephen Sikora to rise again. I know this was an annual meeting and you didn't expect to get your calisthenics in today, but appreciate you going up and down anyway. For those who are rolling off, I want to thank you guys, thank each and every one of you for all your service to Temple Bethel over the years, that you have everything you have contributed and everything you have done to help us be a better and a stronger community. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all that you have done. When you see those who are not here, please send them our gratitude as well, and congratulations on being uninstalled, so to speak. At this time, I would like to invite all of the synagogue board members to please rise, including our executive committee. And as also then ask all of our foundation board to rise as well. So you have, as I mentioned earlier, you have a great job ahead of you. You have an important job ahead of you to help us be the best community that we can, and to help us continue all the progress that Glynis and Ronald have mentioned and Naomi has mentioned, and to help us continue growing and becoming better. And so as you begin this year as a board, we pray together. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May the synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. And may each of you help us fulfill that. Let us say, Amen. Mazal Tov, as I formally announce you as our boards of directors and install you as our foundation and synagogue boards.
Hey, Alan. Yep. Get used to it. So this says it's the time where I am supposed to pass the gavel to Alan. As far as I know, we don't actually have a gavel.
I actually just asked. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe Howard's indicating that there maybe is a gavel. So if there is a gavel, then, give it to Alan. But I am thrilled to pass the title and duties of the Temple Bethel Board President to Alan Halpern. Alan Halpern. Our very own Man of the Year. Alan's steadfast commitment to Temple Bethel, creative energy, and undoubted leadership will, I am sure, carry Temple Bethel forward into a wonderful future. Mazel tov, Alan. It is all you.
thank you very much. Just want to take this moment in. Wow. I just wanted to say that I am president of Temple Bethel. What an honor to say that. What a privilege to say that. I am president of Temple Bethel. I know my great-grandfather, Jacob Allen, the fourth president of this beautiful synagogue, is looking down on me right now with a huge smile on his face. So, I wanted to start off by thanking the immediate past presidents that I have been under and mentored by over the past years. While being on several different committees, while being a longtime board member, while being president of the Men's Club, and while being on the executive board, I've watched carefully and been mentored by Dan Weinrib, Jacob Halpern, Ronald Levitt, Naomi Ifker. They have all shown me what it takes to be president of this synagogue. Thank you all. Thank you all for your continued commitment to Temple Bethel. Ronald, when you asked me to be vice president, we both knew what that led to. I did not think I was ready. I'm still not sure. But you did, and you took the time and focused on me. You mentored me, you worked with me closely on the successful collaboration of the two religious schools of both the temples on Highland Avenue and helped me get to this point. Standing in front of this congregation, thank you. Thank you, Ronald. It really doesn't stop there. Jacob, always being able to bounce stuff off of, Naomi, always being able to answer the phone and help guide me. Really, the list goes on and on. Marvin Shelsky, Ron Folick, Arlene Fisher, Sue Lishkoff, Julian Brook, my parents, Glennis, Howard, Steve Altman, Joshua Richmond, Kathy Fingerman, Margie Perlman, Ken Grodner. The list just keeps going on and on. But everyone is thinking of their deli sandwich. But seriously, thank you all for your guidance and support to help get me here. I will be counting on you for future guidance as presidents and to assure that I won't mess this up. Now, for the exec board, our board of directors, and our foundation board, congratulations to you all. You are leaders of this synagogue. I am very confident that I will be a successful president because of you. Temple Bethel is so blessed to have such a strong group of leaders driving this train. As a long-standing board member, I have seen over the several years how important committees are. Over the last decade of being really involved, I've always heard presidents say, we are a committee-driven organization. Committees do the work, put in the time, and make their recommendations to the board for their vote, which is usually always approved. It has been a streamlined process that has worked for decades. I do not plan to change that as president. I just want to make it stronger. So as my first order of business, please take a moment, if you haven't already, during the wonderful community engagement fair, and put your name down by the committee. Get involved. Our board is only as strong as our committee's recommendations, and we need you. Okay, nobody's writing anything down. Okay, before I move on, I want to take a second and thank Glennis and Rabbi Hinken. Glennis, you're a pleasure to work with, and your guidance over the years has been so valuable. It's weird. Back in the day, I was sent to your office for getting in trouble, and now I want to go. Rabbi Hinken, I have always wanted a rabbi as a buddy, and your friendship, your guidance is very much appreciated, and thank you. Thank you both. While writing this speech, I kept asking myself, what do I want to accomplish as president of this beautiful temple in my short 2 years? I keep going to the same answer in my head over and over. Do all I can to make sure this temple in this gorgeous building will be here for another 100 years. I think about generations and legacies that have walked through these halls, and they have accomplished so much in making temples so strong. Look at this gorgeous Rose and Nathan Filler Cultural Center that we're all in. And what generations of the Filler family, Brook family, Engel, Rodenstrike, Krill, Weintraub, Kornblum, Green, Kimberling, Schaefer, Shilen, Stern, Grodner, Goldstein, Bierman, Abrams, Ifkers, Kiernoffs, Bonfils, list goes on and on and on. Even the Halpern family. Look at what we've all done to make this building, this temple, a strong place. And if I have forgotten someone's name, which I'm sure I did, I apologize. I want to make sure it goes on and on and on by creating new generations of legacies for this temple to keep the ones that already have even stronger. That's what I want to accomplish as your president. I just want to do my part to help this temple assure another 100 years. To be honest, I'm not sure what my part is. I have a few ideas, but with this board, this exec board, the foundation board, and being backed by strong committees, we can all figure it out together. I also want to thank my wife, Shay, my sweet Ava. You guys keep me driven, and thank you. Thank you for all you do. Make me the man I am today. Unfortunately, they're not here. Abe's at Camp Barney for a month, and Shay's the camp nurse for the week. Crazy how it worked out. Even my brother, not here. He got himself COVID. But I get to share this moment with my Temple family, and that makes me happy. Now, we're all supposed to go, aww. Okay, now before we all break away to enjoy, wait, I skipped around. Lastly, or really not lastly, this is truly the moment I will never forget. Becoming president of Temple Bethel is definitely a moment for a selfie. I need this evidence that this actually happened to show my high school and college buddies, because they're like, no way. Okay. There we go. All right, that's done. Okay, so now before we break away to enjoy this delicious fundraiser, I have to take a moment and thank our sponsors and our committee, co-chaired by Alejandra Colon. I haven't seen it. Where's she? Oh, well, goodness. Okay, and yours truly, me. This committee, and I want to go through all the names, but I know I'm running out of time, and I know you guys are hungry. But thank you all for the committee. It was a large committee. We put it together fast, and we made it work. So thank you for all who served on the committee, and thank you to all, along with Glennis and her team. They actually made this happen. And with these sponsors, wow, they made it even more successful. One of the sponsors is one of my best friends, Eric Kelly with Assurance Financial. We have been friends for a very long time, and his wife and I have been childhood friends for even longer, since 7th grade. Eric owns Assurance Financial, and if any of you need to refinance your home or going to buy another home and need a mortgage, please use Assurance Financial. I did and had the best experience with his company. Think about the other sponsors. Our very own Jimmy Krell with Total Dermatology, Neil Carroll with Fane Voy Private Wealth, and lastly, another one of our very own, Chris and Samantha Palmer with the Green Garage. Without these sponsors, this fundraiser would not have been as successful. So please, use these companies and show them how much we appreciate their sponsorship. Yes, Temple Bethel, yeah. So please, use these companies and show them how much we appreciate them and their sponsorship of Temple Bethel. So here in my last bit, it says, now let's eat. But I was just told we're going to do the bingo. So everybody welcome Israel for the drawing of the bingo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, everybody, for participating on this. And thank you, everybody, who put your tables together. There's a lot of opportunities out there to be involved, right? So now we're going to take 3 bingo cards. If you participate, if you have bingo, put your name on it. We're going to call you, and you get a prize, okay, small prize. Okay.
See if anybody else has any out there so they don't get mad at us.
Okay, so make sure that you turn in your bingo card,
Anybody
just in
have
case.
the cards? I'll come get them. All right.
You good? Yeah, put it in there. It's a gift card. It's a gift.
Wait, one more.
Gift card, Amazon gift card. Wanna shake it for me? Okay, so the
Fully
first
shaken.
one. Okay. So pick a name. And the first one goes to Karen Halper. Right here. And the second one. Let's see the single one. Let's see what we got. Morton Stern. Morton. Yeah, it's a lucky table right here. And the third one, let's see. Thank you. See, last one. Barbara Brandy. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, as my first action as president, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting. I'd like to get a motion to adjourn this meeting. Okay, we got this? Second, Bert? All right, meeting adjourned.
Thanks for reminding me. So as first vice president, does this mean you are next in line now? Does this mean you are next in line? I think you had said you were, and I'm sure you wanted to. Ms. Altove, to you.